In a lush green valley surrounded by high mountains, an old villager had two baby goats. One had pure white fur, the other had shiny black fur. They were both very beautiful, but they could never get along. Moreover, both of these goats were very stubborn, so much so that they always did the opposite of what each other did. That's how our two stubborn goats' tale began. Two goats would wander the steep and rocky slopes of the valley all day long. If one went to the right, the other went to the left. If one decided to go up, the other preferred to go down. Their stubbornness always led them to different paths, and they never chose the same path. One day, two goats met on either side of a high cliff through which a powerful river flowed. One goat thought, "Let me cross this way." The other stubbornly said, "No, I will cross the other way." The only way across the cliff was a narrow bridge made of the trunk of a fallen tree. It was so narrow that even two tiny squirrels could hardly pass side by side. However, this narrow log bridge did not scare the stubborn goats. The goats looked at each other from both sides of the cliff. Then, they looked at the water flowing noisily below. One goat put his left foot on the log, the other his right foot. They both stepped onto the narrow bridge at the same time. But it was clear that neither of them could cross the narrow bridge at the same time. Despite this, neither of them thought of stepping back. The first goat shouted, "Get out of my way!" The second goat replied, "No, you get out of my way!" When neither of them gave way to the other, they bumped heads in the middle of the bridge. They were both very stubborn and had no intention of backing down. The narrow log bridge began to crack. "Get out of my way or you'll fall," said one of the goats. The other said, "You're in front of me. Get out of my way so I can pass." And they bumped into each other again. The two goats were tired and scared, but they didn't think of retreating because of their stubbornness. Finally, they bumped into each other once more, even harder. With this last collision, they lost their balance and both fell into the river. They started to drift, hitting left and right in the cold and fast-flowing water. They were almost drowned, but barely escaped. The two goats finally realized the mistake they had made. They saw how pride and stubbornness could lead to bad results. From that day on, they were more understanding towards each other. When it came to the end of the story, only two apples fell from the sky. One for the boy listening to this story, the other for the two stubborn goats, so that they could share a single apple.